5:43 Central Standard Time, and I am so worried about my children and your children's future right now. We have a clear false flag in Syria. The rebels have already been caught 3 times doing it. We have this a week after President Trump announces he wants to pull U.S. forces out because Russian forces are being pulled out and peace is breaking out. We hear that rebel forces in a rebel-held area report that 40-something people died from a nerve gas attack. And so now we've got to have war with Russia right away. And suddenly President Trump is saying all these horrible things about Russia and saying we're going to attack you and Assad did it and all this crap, when before his instincts and the facts show it wasn't Assad. Assad's already won the country back. Assad didn't start the war. It's not our country to be there in the first place. Our own military 5 years ago after Benghazi knew that Obama was funding the Arab Spring, an attempt to bring down Syria to open the door to Turkey and Europe to flood us with an Islamic invasion. General Flynn, the former head of Defense Intelligence, exposed that to the president. Senator Paul talked about it. Senator Cruz talked about it. We first talked about it with Colonel Schaefer and many others. So the globalists are allied with radical Islam to take over these other non-radical countries, open up Europe's borders, and flood Russia and Europe with Islamicists. That's the globalist George Soros plan. So I have to tell you, there's no Russia connections to Trump. We've looked at it. The connections are to Hillary and the deep state and the globalists that had sold us out to China mainly, but also some to Russia, the EU, and anybody else that would pay them. But more and more, with them digging into Trump's sexual past and women, which nobody elected him to be goody two-shoes. They elected him to fix the country. He's done a great job in the first 15 months. But because they've got that dirt and they've got it all, more and more Trump's acting like he's been turned. Now, we'll see what's going to happen. But for all you idiot leftists, they get promoted by internet bots, so you think you're movie stars. You go along with all this Soros warmongering. This stuff, trying to start a war with Russia and having Trump saying he's ready to hit 70 Syrian targets, more than 20 Russian military bases and a Russian port, is a goddamn huge act of war. And excuse my French, but this isn't a joke. It's like America's becoming the old Soviet Union or Nazi Germany under neocon and globalist and liberal Hollywood crap. I know you guys hate Russia because you had it for 85 years and could kill all the Christians and teach all your political correctness there, and the Russians got out from your hold and you're all pissed. They thought they could bring down the old Soviet Union and have big corporations come in and loot it, send in Soros, whose folks before him were already running the country. But that didn't work. Russia got out from under your control, just like America was starting to. But know this. Populism and anti-globalism and the understanding of the New World Order is spreading all over the world, from Africa to Asia to Latin America to Eastern Europe particularly, and the Brexit in England and everything. And so you go ahead and try to destroy Trump. We didn't come with Trump. He came with us. Trump rode in on the big wave of the info war, and we still support the president. He's done great things. But let me tell you something. He starts going sideways, we'll drop him like an old shoe. Now, we're at the closest level we've been since the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 to nuclear war. And that's what mainline analysts are saying. So all you candy asses blocking us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook think it's cute to block our transmissions. It's like blocking oxygen in your own air hose, if you're scuba diving. I just want prosperity and Americana and free market. It works better than everything else. You can demonize me all day and tell lies all day. I don't give a damn. I'm going to keep telling the truth. I'll tell you this. Trump a year ago hit the Russians after there was another fake chemical attack, bombed one airbase. And it was clearly a safe-phasing measure, and I said it's PR. I don't support it, but I get what he's doing. This thing of 70 targets or 20 targets and to kill a bunch of Russians is insane. And the Russians have said they'll strike back, and they have every right to. The media will say, I'm a Russian agent. No, I'm an agent of truth. You punch me in the face first, I got a right to stand up to it. And we need Americans to be sane. Black, white, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, agnostic, atheist, old, young, male, female, whatever. You need to be concerned about war. But they got the left all wound up wanting war with Russia, believing they're the ones that took away your goddess Hillary. Give me a break. Russia can barely get its own act together, and that's why the globalists are against it. Russia's seen as weak. They have a lot of high-tech weapons, but that's it. It's a big, huge, sprawling nation. They've got problems. Rehabilitating themselves from 85 years of leftist gang raping. See, I have a kinship with Russia that I know what they've been through. I've studied the history books. I've read Solzhenitsyn, not just Gulag Archipelago. I understand it. But let me tell you something. I'm a Christian. I'm a Westerner. I'm an American. And I want this republic to continue on to be the example of the world. But we're in a major crisis right now, and we need everybody to be very serious and very, very focused right now. But you have psychopaths like John McCain, who could hardly talk 3 months ago with his brain tumor, that's reportedly, the Democrats say, their president. I know he's a Republican, but he's like their guy. And he's supposedly recommending and commanding this and wants this big war. This is insane. This is insane. I know the talking points come down at YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and Google to be anti-America, to push all this garbage and to want war with Russia. But Jesus Christ, at some point you got to have some self-preservation and not want to strike Russian forces when Russia is in that region, allied with Syria, invited in, kicked the Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Arab Spring out. They're now pulling out as they said they would. And the globalists are so pissed they came in, defeated the ISIS Al-Qaeda forces, defeated the West, and they're now pulling out. They want to attack the Russians and use that as a pretext for a wider war. Kind of like Mueller knows there's no Russian connection to Putin, so he's raiding the Trump Tower and the lawyer and violating attorney-client privilege and going after Stormy Daniels' information to piss Trump off to firing because there's no Russia evidence, but let's make it about firing Mueller and impeachment. We're in the middle of a civil war against corporate interest. Tax-free Bezos, tax-free Gates, tax-free Buffett, tax-free Apple that fund all the leftist crap to get us fighting with each other, and they're people worth hundreds of billions of dollars apiece, totally tax-exempt, trying to start World War III, and it's in mainstream news. They've all moved into bunkers in New Zealand the last month. They're all leaving the country except for Zuckerberg to get in frickin' bunkers. Because they got that hard on to get Russia, and they're already allied with China, and just get those Christians once and for all. It's satanic. Even if you didn't believe in God, why are they so anti-Christian? Why is the Pope saying, screw Christ, and Christians aren't good, and he's sick of hearing about borders, and there is no hell? Because there's something about Christianity and that spirit they don't like and they don't want. It's not like I'm some goody two-shoes or some Pharisee up here. I'm covering facts. I'll be here tomorrow morning. We kick off a 36-hour emergency broadcast to stop World War tomorrow at 8 a.m. with David Knight and right through. But let's get past the censors. Let's get this video out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and let's call the White House, call C-SPAN, call Congress, call Fox, call everywhere. Get a buzz going. Call your damn church. Get these leftist churches. Where are the marchers against war? You in a day can get hundreds of thousands marching to take guns because Soros funds it. But where's the left against war? They love it. I had reporters at my press conference in D.C. pointing their finger at me saying, say you're not a Russian agent. What type of fruitcake land do they think me, 8th generation Texan, my children 9th generation, got here in the 1820s, what fruitcake land am I a Russian agent? Everybody knows I'm an agent of freedom, an agent of free market, an agent of success, an agent of creating Valhalla here on the earth, an agent of believing in humanity. And let me tell you, that includes not having a war with Russia and preemptively blowing up a bunch of Russians while they're pulling out of Syria, which is what the globalists claim they want. They want to start a war with Russia and having the pretext to bomb Damascus and roll in there and break that country up where they let people live in diversity, and they want to bring in the tyranny of the Wahhabist rule that the radical globalists are funding via Islam. These are incredible times to be alive, and I'm done talking. I'm going home to see my wife and children. And they've come after me, and you know what? I'm honored to be attacked. It's not been fun, and I feel guilty sometimes, things that I put my children through, but they have no future if I don't do this. But this is the reality, and people need to get upset and get through the peer pressure. It's okay to say, I'm not for World War III. I'm not for striking Russian forces out of the blue. I remember the rebels staged chemical attacks before. I want to live. It's okay to say, I want to live. I don't want nuclear war. It's okay to say, I don't want to attack the Russians. I know that's radical. That's called conspiracy theory. To even say you want to live, say you want to have a family's bad. I get it. I'm a bad guy. But if you've got any humanity left in you, break your peer pressure conditioning and stand against the globalists. Infowars.com, newswars.com. We can stop the globalists. We can stop John McCain, George Soros, Hillary, and all these other people that if they can't have control of America, they'd rather maneuver us into a war with Russia to destroy nation states, to destroy Christian countries. Just like in the old James Bond movie, From Russia with Love, the Chinese fighting fish waits while the other two fight and almost kill each other. One dies, and then he moves in and kills the other when he's tired. I'm not an idiot. I don't think you're an idiot. Let's pray to God to stop this, and let's put out the energy and the phone calls and the action to say no to a new world war that includes nuclear weapons very, very quickly, because Russia is guaranteeing to counterstrike if they get hit, and that escalates within minutes. Every main analyst agrees. Newswars.com, prisonplanet.com, Infowars.com. It's about common sense. It's about a human future. It's about Americana.